Greetings to you all! Friday has come once again, and Jesus H. Christ! What a 24 hours it has been! What a 24 hours it has been. I still can't believe it's even happening. We forgo the world for a moment in our bubble of World of Warcraft where we exist. Momentarily, as specks, we sit here like, really? Really? Now? Really? I mean, good. But god damn, dude. God damn. Could you not have seen it coming? Because we did. We fucking saw it coming a mile away. You know when we saw it coming? Months ago, man. Months and months ago. Holy shit. God. Shadowlands is delayed. We're not synced. Yeah, it's a fucking bummer, man. It keeps changing. I don't know, dude. We got it pretty close. But it does get messed up sometimes. I can't actually fix it right now. So it should be okay. Sorry for the slight delay. There is some weird sync with one of the cameras that we use. Hang on a minute. Using science. Maybe that's better. Wow. If I use science, does that kind of just fix it for you guys a little bit? Or not? Or is that like way worse? You guys let me know. Is that like way worse? Yeah, I'm using science. There it is. Yeah, so I'm kind of huge, but whatever. It actually happened. They actually delayed the game. The amount of times that I have responded to people saying they're going to delay it, I'm like, no, I don't even know where you're getting this idea from. Like, why would they fucking do it? Why? Like, Blizzard doesn't do that anymore. They're not the Blizzard that says it's ready when it's ready. That Blizzard is long dead. At least we thought it was. Long dead. But here we are. We sit here with this happening. And overwhelmingly, the response has generally been positive to this, especially those who've been playing the beta, which is good to see. It is good to see. The playing of the beta, people are like, dude, it's fucked. It's fucked. It's broken. It's more broken than I could have even listed yesterday. Even in our sheet where I went through like all the bugs that I am aware of, there's still not even touching on the amount of broken stuff in the game. We've talked about it a little bit, but we've been holding back. Because, and you guys are aware of that. I've mentioned it in several videos on streams, that we were holding back because we have a lot of affinity towards Blizz this time around. So we were hoping they would be able to pull it out of the park. But as you know, Finn's leveling process was completely fucked. Multiple times, Finn tried to do his leveling thing that for you guys, and it just kept breaking. And there was nothing he could do about it. Couldn't even get out of starter zones sometimes. Then he had to wait for world quests to cycle to do it. It was just utterly fucking broken. Which is terrible. It's terrible. We did know about this months ago, but they have decided that they can't fix it. I still don't think balance will be sorted even remotely. I think they're basically... If I were to imagine... If I'm being totally honest with you guys, they're adding a little bit of time to it. They still want this game out this year. We are in the 10th month of the year. So they've not bought themselves a lot of time. I would imagine, realistically, they're just trying to get leveling working. For the most part. And that's probably about it. They're probably trying to get leveling working and the 1 to 50 shit working and that kind of stuff. They're probably focused just on whether or not the game is playable for those people, because that affects every single person regardless. I don't expect much to happen on my biggest concerns. Let's put it that way. So a little bit of pessimism still coming from me on this matter, but we'll see what happens. In tribute to that, though, I do have a request to the jury. In tribute to that. But in tribute to the kind of things that are happening, I thought this story was very appropriate, given the last 24 hours. It's called One Day in the Shadowlands. One Day in the Shadowlands. For those of you who do not have beta access, I know they sent out an absolute metric shit ton more invites to people, which I totally understand. But they will, this might give you an idea of the kind of things that are going on. So we don't need, yeah, I know many of you don't have beta. I know. Don't check your email, by the way. For the love of Christ, just wait for your launcher to update. If you just check your launcher, don't check your email. They do it on your, that happens first, okay? An email may come, but you can also get scam emails. They can't scam your launcher. If it's on your launcher, good stuff. If it's not, don't wait for the email. Anyway, one day in the Shadowlands. We don't need a name for this one. So, for those of you who do not have beta, I see you in my chat. I see you. Allow me. Dear Preacher, the heroes of the chat, and of course those people who enjoy playing Night Fae. Just yesterday, I tasted both glory and despair. Allow me to share my educational day in the Shadowlands. I am a World of Warcraft enthusiast from back in the day. I bought my ticket to the Shadowlands hype train so early it came with pre-order bonuses. When that beta sign-up went live, my name was on the list within the first 20 minutes. I played half a dozen Blizzard betas now and figured my chances were good. Really good. But no. No beta invite arrived with the first wave. Nor the second wave. Nor the third. Nor any other wave. Fuck me, right? Fuck me. But not to worry. Instead of playing the beta, I participated vicariously through streams. I learned all about the Covenants, the Soulbinds, the Conduits, and the Legendaries. I scoured forums for new information daily, and I fiddled endlessly with the Soulbind calculators on Wowhead. Most of this research occurred while I was working. I am such a huge fan of World of Warcraft, but my life doesn't allow me a lot of time to play. Is the audio still a massive problem? I can't really fix it right now. Unless I do. Maybe. Bear with me. Sorry. I know it's very distracting. So if I can fix it. Let's try that. Enter. Maybe. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. we'll do whatever. Now it's probably going to be wrong now. Now I just changed that, but you'll see. We'll see. Audio is fine, it's fine. It's perfect now. Okay. Good. Okay. So, where were we? Okay, most of our research occurred at work. So this is how I used to play during the Burning Crusade. This was me. I would sit at work. I had a work laptop, and I would sit there, and I would just browse what would have been modern-day Reddit. Looking through MMO Champion, looking for any scrap of information I could about my favorite game, just waiting for this brand new expansion. I would sit and I would manage my TBC map. You remember the roadmap of all the things you had to do in the Burning Crusade? I would go, right, I'm going to get a group together for this bit and this bit and this bit, and then I'm going to focus over here, and that's how I'm going to get it done. It's actually worse now. We'll fix it later. Chris, if you could see the stream, we just need to do this. Just need to fiddle with this number in there. See what happens. Okay. I'm just going to push on at this point. Okay, so I don't have time to play World of Warcraft as much as I'd like. It was only on Wednesday morning and this week that I finally pulled off my first ever 5-mask horrific vision clear. It felt as though Blizzard had been watching that run, and they blessed me with their mighty hand, because right at the same time the achievement popped, my email chimed. I had been invited to the Shadowlands beta. My brain flooded with joy and adrenaline. I don't even remember downloading the client. The next thing I knew, I had copied my paladin to the beta server, and I was on my way to Icecrown. My eyes were wide as saucers as I landed in the maw for the Shadowlands intro storyline. I was ready for danger, thrills, and spectacle, the kind we got on our first adventure through the Dark Portal, or repelling the invading Legion, or those first glimpses of Pandaria. There was absolutely none of that. The maw was really boring. The maw felt exactly like the west part of Azuna, or the Blasted Lands in Classic, or that big quarry in Suramar. The quest chain, pedestrian at best. Never mind, though. It's just the intro quest line, and it was over so quickly. And soon, I landed. I was touring the City of Dreams, the central hub of the afterlife, Oribos. I walked every pathway, chatted to the NPCs, got myself a haircut. I found the inn and set my hearthstone. I visited the crafting hall. I marvelled at the furniture placed in otherwise pointless alcoves. I waved hello to numerous other players going about their business. It was during this time I learned that I, apparently, was one of about a bazillion people to receive beta that day. Trade chat was flooded with some of the worst things I've ever seen. Mate, where's Torghast though? Where is it? Mate, you seen Torghast? Where it at? You seen Torghast though, mate? Where the fuck is it? It's not over there, is it? It's behind that chair. Where Torghast though? Fucking looking for it all over the place. These guards ain't telling me where Torghast is. Fucking shit, this game, mate. Made for fucking elitists, 1%ers who can find Torghast. Where is he? Fucking stupid Torghast, man. Better find him. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, trade chat, you here, mate? How do I level? No quests in this city. Been looking everywhere, mate. Not a quest here, mate. How do I level? What's the purpose all about? Anybody seen the purpose? Where do I get the purpose? Need a purpose. And then mysteriously, looking for more for Hive Mind. Anybody want to do Hive Mind, mate? Or beta? Fucking giggles, mate. Giggles. Let's go Hive Mind. Let's 5-man it. Be fucking well good. These questions, of course, met with groans and irritation from the existing beta veterans. Oribos, though, is nice. Reminds me of Ironforge, but it lacks any of the charm. Nothing feels real in Oribos. It lacks that secret packed fantasy of Dalaran, the lived-in feel of Stormwind, or the beauty of Silvermoon City. It's actually kind of a dump. But forget that, that's all good. Beyond these walls, the Shadowlands awaits. They want me to explore it. That's why I'm here, to beta test this game. I opened the portal and made my way to my first real Shadowlands zone, Bastion. Flying, I got my first look at Bastion, in all its gold and blue majesty. It was so beautiful. This was my new home. I had decided to become a Kyrian long ago. Okay. The Kyrian matched perfectly with my paladin fantasy. Divine Toll seems like a fun spell, and the Soulbinds offer excellent pathways. It was jarring, therefore, that my first impression was soiled by a group of people sat in the starting area of Bastion talking about the US-American debate. Apparently, according to the conversation I was reading in the local chat, their preferred candidate had totally alphaed a debate, and they were out to celebrate. It seems not even the afterlife is immune to the US election this time around. I ignored them as best I could and began my good work for the purpose. By the time I got to the first proper town, I was bored, though. Bastion felt empty. The Blue Angel guys were just a little too goddamn nice all the time. The side quests, predictable, and Divine Toll, just not as fun to press. Ret Paladins. I actually took it off my primary bars and just stuck it on the right between Hand of Hindrance and my Hearthstone. I was looking forward to just finishing Bastion and moving on. But then disaster. I logged out for lunch. And when I returned, every single mob in the zone was now level 60. What the fucks? I relogged. I relogged again. I flew back to Oribos, and when I flew back to Bastion, they're still level 60. Every single enemy. I could sort of fight them one at a time, but it just wasn't fun. To trade chat I went, and in between the political US debate, friends! Fellow Kyrians! Why is everything now level 60? Mate, just go to Stormwind. Toggle yourself some war mode, mate. Do it a few times, wait 5 minutes, and then come back. Okay. War mode, the solution. So I followed the instructions. The mob's still level 60. I asked again. They're still level 60. I've tried war mode. Yeah, doesn't always work though, does it, mate? Don't always work, though. Sometimes, though. You just got, you know what I mean? You got to get a bit lucky. But, yeah, don't always work, lol. Shadowlands is bugged. Great. There's no way I was going to continue like this, fighting level 60 mobs from now until the end of the campaign. The thought of deleting my character and starting over, even after only a few hours, sounded like a bad time. I submitted myself a bug report to Blizzard, abandoned my paladin right there in the middle of Bastion. Fortunately, a second plan. The beta server allows you to create level 60 characters, straight to endgame. I made a fresh level 60 paladin, logged directly into the Covenant selection room, rubbed my hands with glee. I'm going to fucking Torghast, baby. I'm going to Torghast. Kyrians, of course, had been unexpectedly disappointing. But there was a number 2 in my list of covenants. Friends, I'm going Night Fae. I signed up at the Purple Butterfly Man. Blessing of the Seasons was unexpectedly delightful to use. And the Ghost Fox was great, apart from the irritating tinkly-winkly noise that they make. You better get used to it. Night Fae, bro. Way! Ooh! It turned out before I could go to Torghast, though, I had to do some of the Covenant campaign. So off to Ardenweald. I knew the Night Fae was now going to be the Covenant for me. Ardenweald, gorgeous, stunning, dense, so alive compared to Bastion. I looked around at my new base. It had everything I hoped to find in Oribos. I was once again happy with the WoW expansion. The story quest required me to talk to a butterfly man in the middle of the main hall. And when I clicked on him, he did something I didn't expect, friends. He turned into a giant block of wood. I mean that literally. Where the butterfly man had stood, there was now just a giant stump of wood. There was no way to interact with the block. The question mark was still on my minimap. I ran up and down ramps confirming that I wasn't on the wrong level. Nope. So to trade chat I go once more. Friends! Night Faes! Butterflies! Losers! Why has our friend become a block of wood? Yeah, that happens, that, mate. That's a Shadowlands bug, innit? But how do I fix it? War mode, mate. Go yourself down to Stormwind. War mode. On. Off. Wait 5 minutes. War mode. Seriously? Is war mode the solution? Yep. Does it work? Sometimes. Tell you what you can do, though. Just delete the character. Start again. Maybe it won't happen. So I deleted and started again. I made my brand new, level 60 character. I, for the 3rd time that day, set up my bars. I once again signed up for the Night Fae, flew to Ardenweald, and ran to that butterfly man. This time he gave me a different quest. And then, once again, became that ominous block of wood. I deleted the character again. I made yet another paladin. Maybe it was a message from the gods. I will return to the Kyrian. The pre-Torghast quest chain took me to their base. My time there confirmed the Kyrian, not for me. The base is floating in the air, it's shaped like the International Space Station, and it feels exactly remote and dead. As I ran about looking for a mailbox, I fell through some stairs into oblivion and died. Praise be. But thankfully, nobody turned into a block of wood. For some reason, I had to complete 3 world quests in Bastion to begin their campaign. Why did you add that, Blizzard? What in the actual titty fucking jizz-covered melons were you thinking that a good way to start the big Covenant campaign after people have capped is that the first quest is go and do 3 world quests? Do you play this game? Because you know what we don't want to see the moment we cap, the moment we commit to a Covenant, is go and do world quests. For real, dude. Please remove that shit. I'm making a whole video dedicated to that one thing. I don't give a fuck. Because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Welcome to your sanctum. Thank you for pledging your allegiance to us. Go and do 3 world quests before we'll talk to you. So off I went to do my world quests. And they were unexpectedly hard. And I died a couple of times. But I learnt a trick. A trick that many of your audience may find useful. I followed a warlock. Every time he would attack an enemy, I would hit it too and get shared credit as he blew them to pieces. That's the big brain play. Finally, the quest chain carried me down once again into the maw. Into the entrance to Torghast itself. This was it. My day, rough. Many paladins made and deleted. But Torghast had been the shining light on the hill from the very beginning. I knew with 100% certainty I was going to enjoy me some Torghast. Waiting there in front of me was the NPC who would grant me access to the tower. He had a big golden question mark above his head. I ran towards him with an electric zip noise. He teleported into the sky. Okay. Well, I should wait for him to come back, I guess. Well, he never came back. I reloaded. I went back to Oribos and I came back. I abandoned the quest and reacquired the quest. Nothing. No Torghast for me. Where's the quest guy? Dejectedly, I asked in the local chat. Just where is he? He's here, innit, mate? Stood next to him, aren't you, mate? Can you not see him? No. He's vanished for me. Tried war mode, though, mate. Works sometimes. Tried war mode, have you? It doesn't work. Works sometimes, though. Like, some of the time. Used to work. My patience was gone. I was running out of time to even play. I decided I'm just going to go back to my original character. Take all the ore I'd collected while leveling in Bastion to Oribos. I could finish the day with a little crafting and explore that new system. When I logged in, I received an automatic breadcrumb quest. Travel to Oribos and talk to the Fate Walker. I sat up in my chair. Things are happening. Things are going to happen. I watched my character ride her magic sneck from Bastion through the portal and land in Oribos. Instantly, my screen took a grey tinge. My character stood, locked in position, halfway through her dismount. She was held in place by a debuff that said, "You are imprisoned by the approaching Fate Walker." The Fate Walker never approached. There was nothing I could do to break the debuff. My poor level 52 paladin is still there to this day, motionless, awaiting for the Fate Walker to approach. I cannot believe that they thought they maybe could launch this game in a few weeks. I have had no desire to return to the Shadowlands beta since this one day. And if you need me, I'll be playing Star Wars Squadrons. Thank you very much for listening. And maybe one day the Fate Walker will approach for you. F to our fallen comrade. F's in the chat. He tried, and he tried. But not today. Not today. Today will not be that day. So hopefully, considering the recent events of the last 24 hours, I can give you some kind of idea as to what is happening on the beta for those of you who are not in the beta. And maybe alleviate that even with the inconveniences and the horribleness of holidays booked, that perhaps it might not have been that fun to log in without the delay. Let's hope they fix it. Let's hope they fix it. Am I a good GM? Right. Calm down, you lot. Before you start jumping in. Before you start jumping in. We don't want that to happen. Sounds ready to go. Yeah, you just give it a wee moment. Right, we need some names here. I need Hayabusa. Cool bike. Hayabusa. Foamy Puppy. Hello, Foamy Puppy. And Ghoul's Gold. Oh, I like that name. It's cool. Ghoul's Gold. I like that. It's a clever name. I like that one. It's very awesome. Okay. Did the GM try war mode? The thing is, the people giving that advice are not lying. War mode did used to fix a lot of stuff. Well, if you ever got stuck while you were doing stuff, if you went and did the war mode thing, occasionally it did work. Often you would just have to wait till the weekly reset to get the things to work. But sometimes war mode did work. So it's not like they were lying. It's like when Jesse discovered that sitting down sometimes cured the travel animation bug, where usually we had to go into an arena match to get rid of it. But yeah, it's not bad advice. It's not bad advice. Okay. Hello, preacher, and that jury of yours. I come to the court. I find myself with a case where I cannot for the life of me figure out if I handled things correctly. Allow me to plead my case. Okay. The guild created at the start of BFA. The goal. Casual Curve Guild. It's a bad start. Early on, we get a tank recruited to tank alongside me. We shall call this tank Hayabusa. Hayabusa is doing well. In fact, better than well. He is performing to a standard that I have not seen for quite some time. Any issues we have with our casual progress, in brackets it says, I know heroic ain't progress, we're scrubs. No, heroic is progress. Alright? That's your progress. Normal's your progress for some people. Heroic's your progress for some people. It's fine. You don't need to be ashamed to come before me and say you do heroic rating for progress, okay? It's fine. It's totally fine. No one's judging you. Just don't join my team. Deal? All right, got you. Any issues we have with our casual progress are definitely not caused by him, but rather, wouldn't you know it, a lack of DPS. As we move, finally, to get Gahoon Curvy and move into a short break before the Bastion... BOD. What is BOD? Battle for Dazar'alor. We started recruiting again. Among those recruits, another tank who wishes to join. Foamy Puppy. I had expressed interest in moving to DPS, our weakest area of the guild, so I could have also a better view of the battle and raid lead that much better. Foamy Puppy states he has been tanking, wait for it, hold on to your cum, since vanilla. And, during Wrath of the Lich King, he was a realm first tank. Whatever that means. But there you go. Arguably, though, he does perform well in BOD, and the raid runs okay. He is quickly made an officer. Why? Because I like the way he thinks. Got a good coconut upon his neck. And he's not just another yes man. He will be plain and honest, state if he doesn't agree with any of my suggestions. And I appreciate it to get views outside of my own bubble. I am, for a period though, kicked out of raiding entirely. I have to deal with cancer, where the treatment often leaves me bedlocked. My wife, who co-leads the guild, there they are. There we are. And there they are. And everything continues to run smoothly without my presence. This pleases me. It makes me believe I have picked a good team of officers. They are not reliant on my constant vigil to get things done. When I am ready, I return to my DPS role, and all is well through the Eternal Palace. Nyalotha also is no problem. We curve it! Smash it! Start farming. Mostly because having fun playing the game together, even when there is no loot to gain, is a primary goal of the guild. Wouldn't you know it, we start alt-running Nyalotha. I expressed a desire to go back to tanking for the Shadowlands on my DK. I talked with Booster about this. He has no problems with it. And since we have announced a raid break until launch, mentions that he's going to use the raid break to get away from WoW for a bit, as it's not really that fun for him playing the game with no reward. He assures me he'll be back for the Shadowlands, and he'll play any role we require of him. Loves the guild, loves the game, just not right now. So I take over. Back to tank. Me along and Foam with Puppy. Easy. All is well. We farm Nyalotha every week until sign-ups start to dwindle, with more and more people just kind of running out of reasons to do it. That's okay. Raids were no longer a mandatory deal, but entirely optional within our guild. I get my Death Knight geared. I get all keys done at 15 plus. I get my mount, and I decide it's time for me to take a break myself. Running the guild primarily through Discord, and otherwise leaving it in the hands of my proven, capable officer squad. The Shadowlands looms closer. A release date has been revealed. Yikes. We announce that we wish to begin Mythic progress. We're not going to push hard for cutting edge, but we will definitely move our focus to Mythic after gaining Curve. I ask everyone in the guild to express which class and role they primarily want to play, which one they would prefer to fall back on should things get bad with balance, if there was no spots for their primary desire. I talked with Booster to inform him that I will continue as a DPS, as a new influx of recruits may allow us to have 2 teams going at once. As a DPS, I can swap between the teams and best evaluate between Team 1 and Team 2. Who is Mythic prepared? Foamy Puppy has a bro. A bro who's also a tank. He's coming in strong. It's Ghoul's Gold. Foamy Puppy is trying to sell us on Ghoul's Gold in the officer chat. Hardcore. Giving one argument after the other why he should be tanking instead of Booser. He's God's gift to the shield. Nobody has tanked like him. Ghoul's Gold has never died since he rolled his character. Ghoul's Gold is the absolute tits. All of them fall short on me. I have never seen Ghoul's Gold tank anything. And he is in the guild already as a DPS. And he's a good DPSer. I'm thinking, do I really want to lose a really good DPSer to tank? And then tell Booser to stuff it and go DPS, even though he wants to tank as well? We've never had a single issue with Booser. Nothing has ever had me thinking I should replace him. So I tell Foamy Puppy that I don't think that's going to work. But I'm willing to trial the tanks to see which ones will be best for the Mythic team. And this is where the shit falls down, jury. This is where the case comes up. Hayabusa feels that the officers have begun a conspiracy against him. He starts screaming as he's returned that the other people had months to prepare and get their perfect corruptions. I am at a disadvantage. Ghoul's Gold also feels we are giving him a disadvantage because Booser has had a lot more experience in raiding Nyalotha as a tank, and therefore they can't be compared. Calm down, boys. Settle down. Drop your shields, yeah? Let's all relax. We're going to trial you guys in pre-patch anyway, so don't worry about it. Corruption's gone. No more 70% verse to help carry any lack of being good. A clean slate for everyone. We could trial you both equally. Really, don't worry about it. Their first option was to simply talk to each other, to figure it out for themselves. But I learned that was not possible. It turned into an actual fight between the tanks. On the one hand, I've got Foamy Puppy, literally drinking the fresh jism of Ghoul's Gold. Booster's agreed to the trial and will return for his break during pre-patch to prepare himself. But he's not going to come around now. But ultimately, we get Ghoul's Gold to agree to the trials in pre-patch, and we get Foamy Puppy to agree. Now suddenly, and this is where it gets weird, out of nowhere, and I fucking mean this, out of absolutely goddamn nowhere, but it must have come from somewhere, I just don't know where it came from, I am approached, and I'm told that my guild leadership is absolute wank. I'm told abilities are lost in the pre-patch, and I can't possibly check who is a good tank in the pre-patch environment. Well, yes, I said, but everybody's losing abilities. Everyone's on equal ground. We're all in the same boat. It's not a big deal to figure out who's going to be a good tank, right? Ghoul's Gold says, you know what? There's only one solution to this. We should wait till after launch. Can't possibly figure out who's a good tank until the launch of a new expansion. Not possible. But that's only going to give us like 2 weeks to figure it out before the raid opens. And people need to start preparing day one, right? We can't just wait till then. And plus, it's a dumb fucking idea. Of course we can figure out who's a good tank before the expansion. Nah. I've got a suggestion, says Ghoul's Gold. Solved it. Let me just put this forward for you, right? I'm one of the tanks. Let's settle that now. GG, dotted line. And then you can pick between Booster and Foamy Puppy. And the tank who's not picked, right? They have to just deal with it. How about that for negotiation? I think that's pretty good, don't you? Sounds good. At this point, I'm honestly just close to just picking right now and being like, done. I received nothing but whinging, complaints, and crying about how it's unfair from all sides. But no solutions, no suggestions on how to do it better. In one final attempt to curb this shit show, as they decided to start calling the tank trials, I bring all the tanks into a single chat on Discord. Good idea. I decide I'm going to tell them how things are going to be. This was my plan, ladies and gentlemen, so judge me accordingly. I will trial the tanks available. I will pick the best one for the task. 2 of the tanks I know, Booster and Puppy. I know they're decent players. My only issue with Booster is that he likes to argue tactics. He does comply with the one we've decided on and it works. He adopts it. If it doesn't work, he makes suggestions and other methods, which has helped us in a few fights. Good stuff. Puppy is okay as a tank. My only issue with him is his veterancy attitude. He believes, unequivocally, that because he tanked in vanilla, he's better. Now, to be fair, he doesn't actually make mistakes. He tanks as he should. He does his job, and it's fine. Even though he likes to state repeatedly that tanking is the most difficult role one can do in World of Warcraft. I disagree, but we get on quite well. Ghoul's Gold, I have never seen tank a single goddamn time. He's a good deeps. Always near the top, if not at the top. Always does mechanics he can as a ret paladin. Always shows up, always prepared. Good qualities in a raider. My main issue is that I've never seen him tank. I can suspect maybe he'd be good at it, but from being a generally good player, I would like to see it. I'd like to see how he handles with some curveballs, just like I would like to have seen with the other 2. A debate breaks out about my methods, my thinking, my leadership of this team. Ghoul's Gold simply said he couldn't be fucked anymore. He never wanted to push another tank. He was just under the impression that Booster wasn't going to be tanking. All right. Puppy still argued even after this is the thing. Puppy argued even after Ghoul's Gold had said this, that Ghoul's Gold should still be the tank. And that's why this trial thing needed to happen in the first place. Hayabusa would just like the choice to be made so he could decide if he's going to be tanking or playing a DPS in the Shadowlands. And this is where it still is to this day. Your Honor, Mr. Preacher, the dear jury with your great sense of humour and some semblance of decency, I do not ask you to make the choice for me. But am I a shitty GM? Was it wrong of me to trial the tanks to find the best fit for the team? Should I have just picked the ones I wanted myself without all information being made available and told them to suck it up if they weren't picked? Am I a shitty GM? How could I have handled this better? I humbly accept your judgment. Thank you for reading my story. A very confused guild master. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. You tried to be... Look, man, I've said this a lot of times. Guilds are not a democracy. They're not. Guilds are not a democracy. They run more like a business. You need a guy who has the final word, right? You need that dude. You can have people very high up who help and suggest, but ultimately you need the guy who makes the final word, and you need that guy's word to be final, by the way. It's not up for debate after the decision has been made. I mean, for me, Foamy Puppy is the problem here. Why is he blowing off this tank? Who seemingly, according to your words, isn't even asked. Like, he's bothered. There's this guy, Ghoul's Gold, who said he doesn't want to push a tank. He was just under the impression that there was a tank spot available and he'd tank if he wanted to. Like, what's this puppy guy all about? Does he have a problem with Booster? Who fucking knows? But for me, you keep Look, for me, you keep Booster because why wouldn't you? He sounds fine. And you ask this fucking puppy guy, what's the story? And if he hasn't got a good answer, like, tell him to shut his fucking trap. And also tell him tanking is not the hardest thing in the world. But yeah, you do need to make the decision. You can't play nicey nice all the time. If you try, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of when I tried to play nicey nice. I was the melee DPS officer in Firelands. No? Where was the Lego daggers from? Dragon Soul, right? Yeah? Alright, so I was the melee DPS officer going into the Dragon Soul. My guild at the time, a great guild called Darkstorm, had 2 rogues that were both amazing people. Absolutely awesome. They were so fucking good. And I think we had 3 rogues at the time, but one of them was relatively new. But these other 2 rogues, one had been playing since vanilla, had had a break at some point, but had been in the same guild and doing his same job since vanilla. And the other guy had been with the guild for years as well. So they were both like equally viable and equally great players. So I thought, look, we've got the Lego daggers coming. I spoke to the officer team. They were like, either of them can get it. They're both going to get it as soon as possible. And I thought they were both really reasonable people. So I just went, I just had this little conversation. I was like, hey guys, so the Lego daggers are coming. I'm not sure if one of you wants it over the other or whatever, but we spoke about it. You're both awesome. We obviously have to pick one person. Do you want to like roll for it, or does one of you not mind getting it second or whatever? Fucking turned out though, they both really wanted it first. Bastard. And it sucked because I was like, oh shit, this turned into a thing. They were like making cases to each other, like, yeah, but you took a break here and I kept with the guild and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, fuck me, man. Like, we're a guild that clears everything. You're both going to get it. Like, don't make this a thing. And I can't even, honestly, I can't remember how it ended, but I remember just thinking, Jesus Christ, they're still on about this. Fucking hell. It should go back to a roll. I think I had them roll at the end. Yeah, Darkstorm that used to be on Alakia. We moved to... I don't know what realm. Another realm. At some point. During Kata. But yeah, it was... I think we had them... I think I had them roll in the end. Because they both made good... I was like, dudes, you both like legitimately awesome. You know what I mean? That was my situation. I was like, you're both awesome. You're both totally awesome. And we want to give it to both of you. Like, it's not a problem. It's just somebody has to get it first. So I think I made them roll for it. I think there was a bit of salt there for a while as well. I was like, fuck. But I had to make a choice. Like, look, just roll for it. If you don't want to roll, then just pick somebody. Like, end of story. End of story. Like, what do you want me to do, dude? I can't do this. But guilty, a little bit guilty. You're not super guilty that I would punish you by any means. You're not super guilty, but pretty guilty. Make a choice. Show leadership. You're the leader. They're looking for your leadership. Okay. I want this one. I have 4 more stories in front of me. Yikes. Okay, yeah, this one. That started with, please keep me anonymous. We always keep everybody anonymous. We always keep everybody anonymous. You don't have to worry about it. All right, let me read the preamble to this before we give it a title. Before giving you the story, Mike, I wish to remain anonymous for obvious reasons you'll understand as you read. I've only recently started watching Drama Time, and I felt like this story had to be shared. I also want to make it abundantly clear that this story is not some world-first aspiring guild, competitive enough to even stand in the top 1,000 of guilds worldwide. This is just crazy fucking WoW players with dreams they can never hope to achieve. Aww. Oh dear. There's nothing better than the hardcore elitist guild that's wiping on Rathian. That's when it's gone wrong. That's when it's gone wrong. Let's call it hopeless dreams. Hopeless dreams. Bro, my guild wiped on Rathian last week, I think. Right? Is that right, Clog? We brought that many scam characters, we wiped to Rathian. I think it's like the first time, like, ever. Was it? Oh no, was it Skitra? No, not Rathian. Which boss was it under? We wiped on something fucking ridiculous. It was like Skitra or something. Skitra, it was. I was fuming. I was so enraged. I was like, what the fuck? We then went on, of course, to like one shot and crush every other boss in the dungeon. Oh, I was fucking angry, man. Oh, wiping on. I like a good meme raid. I like a good meme raid. Don't wipe me on Skitra, dude. That's gonna fucking kill me. We got told it was safe to go there and it wasn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was it. Yeah. We had 2... I tell you what it was. We had 2 people trying to mark the same ads in the Skitra phase. And then we got, like, conflicting info about where to go, and there was a wall moving there that none of us could see and fucking killed the raid. Good times. Wiping on Skitra. I'm pretty sure my girl has never wiped on Skitra before last week. Fucking painful. Fucking painful. Not even on progress. I'm pretty sure we one-banged Skitra on progress. Oh. We all have those days. We all have those days, man. It happens. It happens. There's a reason we skipped it this week. We skipped it. Is it possible? Totally possible. When half your... I think we got told. I think Ander is right. Ander is in my guild. I think we got told, yeah, just move to the... You know, you can go to the thing now. And we couldn't, and literally like 50% of the raid just wiped out in seconds. And I think the remaining 50% had scam characters in it that were preparing for the Shadowlands. So they were like trying to 5-man Skitra. They're trying to 5-man it. Okay. Hey, Preacher Boy, do I have a story for you? Let us go back to Warlords of Draenor. I joined a guild with a few friends before expansion transitioned to Legion. Okay, good. Whew, I thought we were playing WoD. They were desperate for raiders since they had suffered a significant loss earlier and couldn't progress at the pace they wanted. They wanted to tailor themselves as a mythic team for immediately going hard, as it was described to me in mythic progression on the server. Going hard. Going mythic raiding. Before Legion raiding had even begun, they were in talks about a second raid team. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lofty goals, friends. We're going to change our normal progression guild into a mythic raid team with two raiding teams. Okay. Okay. Before Legion raiding had even begun, talks were abound about a second raid team that was going to be called Casual Team and have a casual approach to raiding and a casual schedule and extremely casual. And the job of Casual Team would only be farming Heroic instead. And they would only raid a few days at most a week. Very casual of you to raid a few days a week. Very casual and to do curve. Initially, most likely meant as a way for main raiders to gear their alts, but also it would allow socials to join in and get some gear experience. Oh, he's so kind. So kind. And we could also use the casual team to vet future raider applicants. I volunteered to be casual team leader. I've well over 10 years of experience raid leading and I'm used to herding cats if required. I was told that I would have to do my own recruiting, my own scouting, vetting and role assignments for the team. But I would have no power within the actual guild because my team is casual. Okay, here's the deal. You do all the work. Look, get close to me, all right? Just get real fucking close to me right now. Let me break it down for you. What I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to go out. I'm going to need you to recruit an entire raid team. I'm going to need you to lead that raid team. I'm going to need you to sort out all the assignments, manage recruitment, deal with all the applications, vet people. And the purpose of you doing this. Now, we're not going to give you any like power or reward for doing this, but what it will allow us to do is it will allow me to just gear my alt in your raid whenever I feel like it. So I think that's a square deal. Okay, so I'm going to need you to go ahead and do that, all right? So if you can get that done by the end of the day, that would be awesome. Thank you. I couldn't remove anyone. I couldn't guild kick or demote any raiders. That was picked up by the team, even if it was by my own efforts. Before the first raid week, casual team was struggling to find enough people to get into the raid. But we eventually managed it, though. 10 people. A full 10-man team ready for the Emerald Nightmare. Meanwhile, Mythic team was stacked. They had 25 people, all vying to join Mythic mode. Raiding week 1 starts and the casual team clears the full raid on normal. The Mythic team, however, not so much. Mythic team can't kill Ursoc normal. Oh, God. Oh, no. Not Ursoc normal. The horror! The horror of Ursoc normal. Oh, God. But by the end of that week, they did manage to eventually squeeze out a full clear. Raiding week 2. And the Mythic team begins heroic. A day earlier than casual team. Due to the scheduling, it was specifically told to me that casual team was specifically designed to raid on days when Mythic team wasn't. This would allow me the benefit, the courtesy, the privilege of main raiders attending casual raids if required or needed to give us a helping hand. Mythic team gets Nithendra down, but they don't get much further than that. From their streams I watched, it was a hell of a struggle for reasons I'll go into later. Casual team clears the raid on day 2. Now this moment it sparked an insane string of events, ladies and gentlemen. An insane string of events. First, as you could probably expect, was what we called the migration. Seeing casual team clear heroic in 2 days while they'd only killed Nithendra started a whole lot of questioning from the raiders. Specifically the raiders who wanted gear. I started to get a lot of little whispers in the pink. Excuse me, mate. What's the requirements for that casual team? Looking to go casual. Bit hardcore over here in Mythic team. Bit hardcore, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of thinking of going casual. You know what I mean? Infamy, though? Go on. Infamy. Go on. Go on. Asking questions about whether or not casual team has got any space for people who just kind of want to chill. What days we raid and so on. Our small-time 10-man team got a bunch of people from main squad interested. On week 3, our little 10-man casual team had 20 people in it. Many of which were swapped out as we went to make sure as many people got experience, gear, and most importantly, fun. I had one little power. I get to choose who comes, since I had to organise everything for the DPS tank and healer slots and make sure everything was relatively balanced. And the one thing I kept getting told was that raiding that happened in Casual Team was nothing like what the fuck was going on in Mythic Team. We were laughing, having a blast. Mistakes weren't rammed down their throats. They felt that I was doing an infinitely better job than main squad. So all of this started cycling around between people until all of a sudden the officers and the GM himself wanted a meeting. The GM opened with just some questions about what's going on in Casual Team. He asked if they could have the entire main team come together. Because it seems we've split the good players up. Which makes no sense. We're a team. We're one team. There's not Mythic Team and Casual Team. There's the Guild. Right? Synergy. Bring it together. So why don't we just make one big team? Instead of this splitting up and silly splitting of stuff. Naturally, I had my concerns, as no doubt you could probably tell. But since the GM apparently wanted me to not only raid lead, but to still do all the work in sorting tactics, take all the responsibility, but with zero influence over changes to the roster, or who I could take into the raid, it didn't sound too appealing. But he practically forced me, in his own sneaky way, to take the entirety of the main Mythic team, which had now been reduced to a total of 8 people, most of which were officers, since the normal players had swapped to Casual Team, since our progression was better, and with far fewer constant nagging, whining and complaining about tactics, meters, positions, and who done fucked up, because they literally wouldn't be able to raid otherwise. And I will admit at that point in time, guys, and maybe this is where I made a mistake, I took pity on the GM. Imagine having all your raiders leave to join another team in the space of 2 weeks. Even though your team, the one you were in command of, was billed as the successful one. That had been marketed and sold to its players as starting Mythic in week 3 or 4. I felt really bad, so I said, okay, sure. I said I'd raid lead and bring as many people in as possible. But this was difficult, since we were more or less 35 people wanting to get in one raid. Current raiders were not happy with having to raid with the other team, because they still stood by being Mythic Team. Until the first joint raid, of course. Then, all these people from Mythic Team who had been bitching and whining understood. It turns out pretty much every single one of the 8 raiders of Mythic Team, which just so happened to be the entire officer team with the GM and his girlfriend, were the entire reason their progression was fucked. They were shit. Absolute shit. I don't usually mind awful players, but some people aren't good at WoW, right? We're all bad players at one point, but believe me, they were shit. Really shit. These joint raids went on for quite a while, all the way to a few weeks into the Trial of Valor. The main team still kept raiding and just about enough people to attempt Mythic once a week, which they called Mythic Day. But they only ever managed to kill Mythic Ninth Endra. Oh. Then as we were about to start progressing on Hell Yeah Heroic, I got another call. The GM wanted another meeting with the officers. But this time it got really bad. Really bad. He had an announcement to make. A genius 5-head idea that he had come to. He announced he is going to be taking control of Casual Team and start raid leading it himself. He also told me and my friends I joined with that we were still welcome to start a brand new Casual Team if we wanted to. But that we would, effective as of next raid week, take over the team and convert it into a solid Mythic progression team. Hello?
You alright?
Yeah, what you doing?
Well, I was just seeing where you was up to.
Doing drama.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Are you going to stand over my shoulder, because it's really uncomfortable?
No, I'm going back out now.
You're like the GM of this guild in the story.
Oh, dinner's on the table, so I was seeing where you was.
She's like the GM in the story, isn't she? Nothing, just watching. Just seeing what's going on. Just giving you the old eye. just watching. He told my friends and I who joined that we would still be welcome to create the new casual team. But obviously the message has been lost. Casual team's doing X, but Mythic team's doing Y. It makes no sense. And as the GM, he really should be in charge of the main core team. But go ahead and start yourself a little casual team if you want to. But we want to make a Mythic progression team. And this is the only way that's going to work. I guess he had finally had enough of living in the shadow of someone else and wanted to take what he felt he was owed. At this point, I was fuming. But I kept my cool to him directly. I didn't want to cause a massive upheaval. Instead, as we killed Heroic Hellier, I announced, I'm fucking done, fellas. I am out of this bitch. I am out. As news hit our forums, I started getting a buttload of in-game mail. PM spamming the pink that ended up being long-winded conversations with the raiders I had gotten to know over the weeks we'd raided together. And when I told them I would no longer be raid leading, I also told them I had no say anything that ever happened in this guild. That I was basically overruled and I couldn't do a thing. Every time I wanted to get a person out of the team, which was several times due to said individuals being excessively noisy or just straight up ignorant, I was ignored or told to ignore it and keep going because remember, your team is supposed to be casual. If I wanted to get people in, I would still have to, for some unknown reason, go through the guild master with permissions. I couldn't even invite anyone to the guild. I still had to get an officer to do it. The best thing I could do was to stick it to the GM at the time, so I ended up telling him that if there's a way he wanted to do things, I would step back permanently, find another guild. I ended up leaving the guild a few days later after talking with friends I joined the guild with about it. I kept them in the loop the entire time, and they all agreed it was time to jump ship. So we all did. After we left, the guild tore itself apart at the tail end of Legion. I didn't keep track of their progress because I simply quit until Argus came out. I kept in contact with several people I enjoyed the company of in the guild and on Battle.net, and the opinion was more or less the same all around in unison. That fucking GM was a prick. He had changed his guildmaster note to my way or the highway by the time I had left. Nice. I need to put that in Alex's guild note. My way or the highway. There were constant struggles between members and quite a few of the people who tried fruitlessly to get me back up when the GM assumed direct control over everything. They decided to leave after joining in for raids the week after we left. In their own words, they saw what it was like. They remembered what it used to be like, and they didn't want to be a part of this. I'm sure there are probably other reasons as well, such as animosity towards that GM, but that's only for me to speculate. The GM then made the ultra move. He had a new announcement for the remaining members of his awesome guild. Before Battle for Azeroth, he has decided that the Mythic Guild would now go social only. And that he would transfer ownership to his alt in order for his main character to move server and join an epic raiding guild, which he wrote in all caps. He believed that the members of his guild could no longer accomplish the goals that he wanted out of them, and they had severely let him down. Stop it! So there you have it. My actions to leave, after taking endless abuse from an obsessive GM who refused to accept that he and his crew were not a match for Mythic progression, might have ended up being the breaking point for the guild, and no matter how hard that GM tried, he could not pick up those pieces again. I hope you enjoyed my little story. It was an emotional time for me, but I hope you got a crack out of it. And I don't feel even a trace of pity, remorse, or sorrow for that guy. If anything, I still beat myself up for not being more stern. I cared a lot about those people I had the pleasure of raiding with during those few weeks before they were hijacked by a jealous, vindictive arsehole of a GM. But hindsight is 2020. Cheers to you, Preach. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck in the Shadowlands. Oh, these GMs, man, especially... How many of you are in guilds where the entire officer team is like RL friends? Like, what? Come on, man. That is just a risk. But I will say this. Sometimes it works. The Burning Crusade was like that for me. My guild, one of my favourite guilds of all time, was the officer team were all IRL friends who played from the same web cafe. It can work. But Jesus Christ, if it's not a giant red flag. Your guild? Not really. My guild does know each other IRL now, but that's not why they came together. Like, we have met now, but that's not what it was. We're not all high school buddies or anything like that. It was a Greek guild, yes. My Burning Crusade guild was a Greek guild that all played from the same web cafe. Wonderful people. Absolutely wonderful people, so it all's good. We all hate each other. Awesome. Oh, a ballers and a profist to you all. Oh my god, I just got sent like a really important message. The second the countdown was up, I got sent this in. Why am I so huge? What the fuck? I want to be smaller. There we go. That's fine. I was enormous. Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. I was absolutely enormous there for a second while dealing with things. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just got sent like a really important message. And I was like, fuck, I need to deal with that. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I got drama to do. I was Chungus Mungus. I absolutely was Chungus Mungus. Holy shit. But we're good. We're golden. Everybody's fine. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Give us back a huge preach. I'm like Mario, man. It's like, Chungus. The big Chungus. God, oh God. It's because we moved the camera here this morning, Chris. Chris had me crawling on the floor this morning. Chris had me crawling on the floor. It's been an exceptionally busy day. My voice is definitely dying. I've had to resort to the Diet Coke, man. I need the bubbles to get me through it. I need the bubbles to get me through it. I hope you've had a wonderful week. If you've not, hopefully this will relax you, kick back, have some smiles, have some fun, do all those kind of things, because I think we're in for some giggles. Take my Stygia, you fiend. Take my Stygia. I'm not muted. I can see it moving. Shut up. I am not muted. Close to finishing work. That'll do for me. That will do for me. I'm all out of sorts because of that. My brain's gone somewhere else that isn't drama time. Hi. I'm somewhere else doing a show. Oh, it's nothing worse. It's like being on the casting when you're doing like the casting for the race, and then someone just drops like comes in your ear and goes, "Oh, by the way, you need to interview the mayor in 2 minutes," and you're like, "Okay," and the boss died. Woohoo! We're all good. Anyway, there's no women here today, right? Let's have drama. Let's just do drama time. I assume there are no women in the audience. Good, because look. This isn't my story, but it needs to be told. It needs to be told. It needs to be told. So, yeah, like, it's not... it works out well. You have faith in me, right? I have never, in 5 years of doing the show, I have never led you astray without bringing it back home, right? I've never done that to you. I've never led you astray without bringing it back home. So don't get upset. I can't even type this title in. I don't know if it'll fit. It's close. It's close. It's close. Okay, look, right? Don't blame me. All right, don't blame me. Look, let's just do the story. It's not going to be as bad as you think. Your imagination is always way worse than you think it's going to be, right? Your imagination's always way worse than what you think. You're probably imagining all sorts of states. Oh, Dennis is here. Good. Dennis, sorry, mate. Can you invite Jono to the PG top tier? He needs to get information off you guys. Sorry, Dennis. That was one of the things that happened in the last 3 minutes before I was starting drama. That's one of the things I had to deal with. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Okay. Names will come later. Let's just go. Let me get into my rhythm. We'll be fine. I'm fucking so disheveled right now. Here we go. Guilty. Get your guilties ready, girls. Girls, get your guilties ready, because I'm with you. I agree. I agree with you. I'm with you. All right. Hi, Preach. Hi, chat. Hi. Hello to you all. I'm a long-time listener on the YouTube because I am Team America. And I was actually in one of the guilds that you've covered in Drama Time in the past, though it wasn't my story. You see, I do RP. And one of the stories you read in 2016, Fetish ERP Voodoo. Fuck, man. We've been on some journeys, haven't we? Can we reflect on that? Can we reflect on the journeys we've been on in the history of Drama Time? Hey, good news though. Pretty soon, if you remember a drama story from like 4 years ago and you can't find it anywhere on YouTube, we're going to have a search system for you coming up. It's cost me like so much money. But you are going to be able to do that pretty soon. You are going to be able to like specifically search something. Yeah, you are going to be able to do that pretty soon. So, okay. Specifically, I was in a troll-centric RP guild on Wormrest Accord. I was super confused when we had a guild meeting about the drama that was unfolding on Tumblr at the time. Jesus Christ, Tumblr? What the fuck? As I was mostly running an accidentally Worgen-centric pirate guild on the Alliance side at the time. However, when I saw the story come up on Drama Time, which my husband had discovered not long before that, it did make me smile. Good! This will... See? This is an avid watcher of Drama Time. Girls, relax, alright? It's gonna be fine. Anyway, this isn't about that. This is about my own drama with a different RP guild. But it's not an RP situation, it's raiding drama. So let me fill you in a little about myself. I started playing back in vanilla as a troll rogue, but then I re-rolled as a troll hunter because I didn't care for rogue gameplay. My husband was also a troll hunter, and we've played most of the expansions together as husband and wife. Though I re-rolled as a troll priest, sue me, I like trolls. I am suing you. Trolls are shit. What are you doing? They're shit. They're shit for transmog. They're just shit. All trolls are shit. Alright? They're shit. In the Burning Crusade, because I got sick of trying to pug groups in the old LFG chat as a DPS, I have mained my troll priest ever since. You're still playing a troll priest? Yeah, Zandalari are good if you like having dick toes. Amazing. So, we moved. He took his hunter. Oh, wait. Now, shortly after the drama with the original Troll Guild, this was after an in-game break my husband was taking, we opted to change servers. Let's move on. He had a good friend on Facebook, fuck me, that was also playing World of Warcraft and raiding. I don't remember if it was heroic, but or if they were also doing mythic. It would have been heroic back in TBC. But now I had done some raiding. Oh, this is later. When is this? All right, I don't have a timestamp for this, but she says... I had done some raiding back in the Burning Crusade. It was mostly, as the only things I'd done in vanilla were UBRS and Karazhan in the Burning Crusade. But I still loved raiding. However, I had healed, and I was confident I could heal again. Though it had been some time since I had done anything other than LFR. So this is at least several years later. LFR was Cataclysm, so we might be MOP era, maybe. I don't know. So we moved. He took his hunter, I brought my healer. I made it very, very clear, and I want to make it clear to your chat, I am shit at DPS, especially in raids. I'm a healer. I heal in PvE, I heal in PvP, I do play Shadow, but just for solo stuff. And this is where the trouble started. My husband wanted to be a survival hunter. And you're still married. But it turned out survival wasn't really cutting it. Ah, that's a shame. Pity. So he switched it to marksman for the raids. Well, at least for raiding. He still played survival while soloing. Good. That's all right. You do what you want on your own. Enjoy yourself. He got lucky fairly early on with his best in slot Lego. Oh, it must be Legion. I believe it was a trinket. Kill Jaden's trinket? I don't know. Hunters, Legion, Kill Jaden trinket, Biss? Doesn't sound right. Was it? It was good? Oh, it was good for survival. Explains a lot. So he was doing pretty well, and he was holding down his rotation pretty decently. The issue was with me. Instead of the guild letting me be a healer, the guild would constantly ask me to flex out in Shadow. Again, I pre-warned the guild, I'm shit at DPS. I only play DPS while solo, and I'm probably shit at that as solo as well. But it gets the job done, so it doesn't really matter. My first Lego was also the worst one in the game, so that was fun. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was a ring. Did you just call Cephas shit? Oh wait, pre-buff Cephas. Shout outs to pre-buff Cephas. I know, my memory is pretty shit too. Anyway, This went about as well as you guys could probably expect. I tried. I swear to you all, I tried. I really did. I studied the class. I watched videos. I tried so hard to get my rotation down. We were downing bosses in Antorus. Oh, so we are End of Legion. Okay. Though again, I don't recall if it was heroic or mythic, but probably it was just heroic. However, my numbers just weren't good enough. I couldn't get them to be good enough because I was constantly swapping in and out of healing and DPS on a fight-to-fight basis. Tell me, how are you to maintain good passes if you can't do a single job in the raid? Maybe I'm just too much of a noob to understand. Correct. That is the correct answer. But I feel like I was being set up for failure. Like, they wanted I started to get the feeling that they wanted my husband in the raid, and they only brought me because they thought he wouldn't do it without me unless they had a reason for it. Oh, I see. I have reasons to believe this, though. This isn't an excuse. The guild treated the girls like shit. They constantly talked down to them. Some of it was clearly banter, but some of it felt malicious. Like, they didn't talk to the male raiders that way. One of them was a tank, another was a DPS, and me. The tank was always in the raid. The DPS girl was the DPS chick. The DPS chick was talked shit about, but brought even though she half-arsed it and was constantly late. Not having the shit she needed done before Antorus was released, etc., etc. Then there was me, who was trying my damn best to do what they wanted me to do, but just not being able to pull it off. We actually made it all the way to the last boss of Antorus before the bench arrived. Out of the blue, while getting ready for the raid, I was told I would not be allowed to go. They would allow me to come back after it was on farm, but I was no longer welcome for progression. Okay, if my passes aren't there, then fair enough. I was disappointed, but I just went about my dailies. But then they said something completely unnecessary. I wasn't in the voice chat, but I could hear. It was easier for us as we were in the same room to just listen to one set of speakers. Somebody in the Discord said, just put her on the bench with the other wives. Oh, God damn. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know that's like a 12-year-old virgin as well, man, which is right. Like a 17-year-old virgin as well, man. You know that is somebody who could never speak to a woman in real life. You know it. You know it, man. You know it. That if you were there in person, he would... if you shook his hand, he would probably come in his pants and hide in the bathroom. Right? You know it. You fucking know it. This was just another reason that I think they were setting me up for failure. I won't lie. At the time, I was a little depressed and I was anxious. So I started to cry. My husband was ready to walk from the guild, but I wouldn't let him. I didn't want him to feel like he had to just because I was upset. It's not because of that. It's because they're dickheads. Right? It's not because of you. It's not just because you're crying. It's because they're dickheads. What the fuck? A large part of me felt like I was being unreasonable. Oh no! But looking back at it, the way they treated the women in the guild, I don't know that I was. No, you're not. No, not at all. I'm sure I overreacted a little because it's just a fucking game. But you have to also understand where I was at. I didn't even want to leave the house and go for a walk around the neighborhood without feeling panicked. I didn't have contact with anyone that didn't live in my house, except for very rarely. And I also kind of hated myself at the time. Aw, I hope you feel better if I reinforce to you that they were the dickheads. Guilty! You want some guilty spam in the chat, because you know it. Still, I had the logical part of my brain as a woman. Look, don't hate me, right? You walked me into it, okay? Look, you walked me into it. I'm memeing, all right? Relax. Don't fucking email me. Don't email me, all right? The logical part of me understood that it's just a game. And I was probably overreacting. Maybe it was meant in jest. Well, I gave all sorts of excuses to get my husband to just go on and finish the raid out for that day. He did, but he wanted to leave. After that moment, he stopped raiding with them. I think we both left the guild. And then it came. The good book message appeared. It was probably from the friend that ran the guild, though I'm not sure, asking, in plain terms, we see how it is then. If your wife can't raid, then you won't raid. Nice, that one, mate. His response, measured to say the least. No, it's because you treated my wife like shit. I recently got to thinking about this again. And I really do think they never wanted me in. Why are you still thinking about this? This was in Legion. Right? Come on. Let it go. This is a shit guild. That's it. Let it go. Come on. Let's push forward. All right? We've dealt with Battle for Azeroth. We've been through tougher times than Legion. We have stood strong. All right? We have stood strong. We have walked through hellfire and brimstone to walk out on the other side. And we have literally walked into death itself to get away from BFA. Do you understand that? We walked through the valley of the shadow of death and emerged in hell, in death. That's where we are. My husband agrees they were just screwing me over by forcing me to play a spec I told them I didn't want to do and I wasn't good at, instead of just letting me do some healing or whatever. What do you and your chat think? What do we think? It's just a shit guild. That's it. It's no more, no less. Just a shitty guild. I have a couple of other stories, and my husband and I despise drama in our own lives. I may be amused by other people's drama, but I try to avoid it outside of at least RP. If you want to hear about those, let me know. About a troll rogue that was possessed. Oh, I have an RP story. Okay, let me put this to the chat. I have an RP story about a troll rogue that was possessed by Hakar and God modded so badly that we had to start a guild against him. I'll be happy to share what I recall. No RP. We need it. We need it in our lives. It's just a shitty guild. Don't think about it anymore. I beg of you not to think about it anymore. I swear to God. All right. Speaking of people who come in their pants at the first sign of sensing a vagina in the room, here we go. Here we go. We didn't need a name for that one. That's all right. But we do need one for this. We do need one for this. The lady killer. All right. Who's going to be our lady killer? Let's have... oh, yeah. Kane. Kane, the lady killer. And our lady to be killed, Rainbow. Rainbow, you're in. You are our lady to be slain. You are our lady to be slain. Justice preach. The jury of drama time. I need you to call the court to order. Can do. Gavel at the ready. Order. I need to know. Am I guilty? Am I the arsehole? Well, I'm sure that our wonderful audience will be able to put your fears to rest. There are some things that I am guilty of. I'm a casual classic player. Everybody who plays classic is casual. They might not think they are, but they are. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact. Big casual. I leveled an undead rogue at launch. That's pretty guilty. I did a little raiding. I got bored and I quit. I did keep paying for the account though, just so I could drop in whenever I felt like and do some PvP now and again. But this isn't about me, really. It's about my poor, poor, naive sister. My sister Rainbow plays a priest on the same server. She's a dental nurse by day and a wannabe streamer by night. Aw, we all started low. Fucking hell. We all started low. I'm not joking. Literally nobody watches her channel except me. And I did it to be nice and have it running in the background. But hearing Rainbow continuously talk to her empty stream about how easily her guild was clearing Blackwing Lair, I had to see it for myself. I made myself a gnome mage, joined her guild, and started that long grind back up to level 60. Brothers and sisters, am I right? Brothers and sisters. This is when I first encountered Kane. Kane is a Chadamus Prime douchebag. My first encounter with him was when I noticed this human warrior. And when he was talking, he was explaining how he's a fighter pilot IRL. And that he's only playing because he's on leave from the Air Force while he recovers from an Apache helicopter accident he suffered in Afghanistan. Is that right, Kane? You know how many people in the military watch this show? It's a lot. A lot of people. Some even have their wives put Drama Time on USB and send it out to them while they're on service. And you know what? I've spoke to a lot of them. You know what they don't talk like? This. They don't talk like this at all. In any way. I remember listening to Rainbow's Blackwing Lair raid on Discord while I leveled. They had wiped unexpectedly on Broodlord. And Kane was complaining loudly. I need a voice for Kane. This would have never happened in my other guild, he said. What other guild? Asked somebody. I raid with the Air Force. We clear this place in 35 minutes. When? Asked someone else. When you sissy boys are asleep. I have full tier 2 on this character. You're not wearing any of that tier 2, Kane. He didn't even pause. I swear to God, he didn't even pause. Because it's a secret raid by Blizzard just for the military. The loot is invisible. It's only for our eyes. Now, I don't want to pretend that people bought into this. I don't want to pretend because they didn't. The whole guild thought Kane was fucking hilarious. Because he took himself dead seriously and was constantly saying shit like this. And it's classic WoW. Who cares? So they all laughed. They loved it. They thought these stories were fucking awesome. For the remainder of the night, the guild does what guilds do best. They memed the shit out of him as they rolled on invisible loot for the rest of the night, well after all the loot on each boss had been distributed. Alright, Paradician's Blade, anybody? Paradician's Blade, alright, going once, going twice. Alright, next up, Invisible Paradician's Blade. Anybody? Anybody? I also have an invisible chromatically tempered sword and an invisible ash candy. Who wants? Roll away. But while they were memeing and joking and they loved this guy, Rainbow bought it. It took me half an hour afterwards to convince Rainbow that he was joking and that there aren't secret military raids. There's no invisible loot. There's none of that. And I swear to God, even then, I'm pretty sure when she agreed that he was bullshitting, I think she was just humoring me. Deep down, I think she hoped that if she got with Kane, that she might get an invite to the secret Blizzard Air Force Guild. It got worse though, because I started to notice that Rainbow and Kane were frequently in the same zone at the same time. It appeared the two of them would get in a group and just go out into the world, farming, herbing, talking. I shudder to think of the gallons of nonsense that Kane must have poured into poor Rainbow's ears during those sessions. But every now and again, Rainbow would occasionally relay details to me in wide-eyed amazement of how little she understood about WoW. Did you know Kane got banned from Alterac Valley because he soloed Drek and everyone reported him? No, Rainbow, he didn't. Did you know Kane had Thunder Fury, but he vended it because his daggers had better DPS? No, Rainbow, they didn't. Did you know Kane's dick as big as a car? I'll be honest, she never said that, but I wouldn't have been surprised at this point. What made it really sad, though, what made it really sad is that Rainbow also stopped streaming. I thought that was a real shame. She did this Because according to Kane, streamers were nerds. And she wanted to be with Kane. One day I was working through the Nessingwary Safari quests in STV when I noticed Rainbow and Kane were on one of their little dates over in Ashara. People were in their channel going in and out, so I joined and just sat there. While listening, Kane, once again... What, I'm a nerd now? Fuck off. Kane was in the middle of one of his infamous monologues. Yeah, and that's when I got jumped by 3 rogues and a shaman. I guess those pussies didn't expect anyone to actually fight back, because they all ran away after I killed that first rogue. The hordes, they're pussies. You know? Yeah, Rainbow agreed. I chased them up to the crossroads. Fucking noobs didn't think I could see them through stealth. They're probably retailer idiots. Yo, fuck you, Rainbow. I was all on your side. So you're chasing some tail. That's alright, that's on you. Retailer noobs? Really? Farming herbs in a shower, are we? How's that going for you? Is it good? Good shit? Good time? Yeah? Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Probably retailer idiots. Yeah, probably, right? Anyway, I killed them all again, and then they reported me for cheating, so I didn't get the honor points. You know, I should be Grand Marshal by now, but Bliss, they're constantly scumming me out of my honor. I'm sorry, baby. You'll get there. Baby? Baby? She started calling him baby. She's sympathizing with his stupid lies. It was worse than I feared. Rainbow was clearly up to her neck in this fucking douche. It boiled my blood. I was going to say something. I was just sat there listening away. I was ready to yell, but I chilled. I chilled. The situation has gone all the way to full-on red alert. That doesn't work, Chris. What the hell happened? See, I was making a dramatic switch of like, set it up. I've set the pins and it just fucking fell down. God damn it. We're at green alert. Green alert, everybody. The situation has gone too far. I know my sister. I love my sister. She's an independent woman in her 20s. I fucking love my sister. But my sister is dumb as fuck. And I don't know why. But sometimes she's just a complete fucking idiot. No matter what I would say at this point, I knew Rainbow would defend Kane, and I would probably push them closer together. The image entered my head. The image all brothers fear of their sisters, of Kane, balls deep, in my sister, at his base in Atlanta. I started to feel a bit sick. I had to take this to the mature level. I logged my fucking rogue. 10 minutes later, I located Rainbow and Kane herbing along the southern cliffs of Ashara. I was still in the Discord channel, and I could hear Kane delivering one of his tales. You know what it is? Retail's just so fucking easy now. You know, I clear all the mythic raids with my buddies on weekends. Shit's so easy. Oh, wow. Can I come just to see what the raids are like? Yeah, maybe. I'll ask. Anyway, we don't use add-ons or anything like that because the shit's so easy, you know? I see all these people playing with like WeCores and whatever. Like, what the hell? What's wrong, baby? I can't move. I'm lagging. I sat in stealth for a moment, watching him try and move his character. I shook my fucking head. Really? You don't know what SAP is? Really? Mr. fucking Hero, Mr. Air Force Pilot, Mr. Apache Afghanistan? You don't know what SAP is? You dumb cunt. You look dizzy. I can't move, said Kane again in total confusion. That's when I did what I thought was the appropriate move. Cold blood, bitch. Popped out, opened up, ambushed the shit out of my sister. Help! I'm being killed, she said as I blasted her to death with the full rotation. She barely got to move before I'd slaughtered her. It's a rogue, said Kane. Well done, genius, as I vanished. Kill it, said Rainbow. Unsurprisingly, she didn't recognize my character name. I hadn't played it in a long time. Kane said nothing for a moment. It's stealthed. But you can see through stealth. Oh, but babe, I left that trinket in the bag. Kane mooched around. I sapped him again. A Naga patrolled over and started whacking him. Shit! He said, running away to the safety behind some rocks. My sister sighed and released. Freudian slip. My sister sighed and released. It was a long run back. I hung around in stealth, watching Kane dash back and forth, jumping at shadows. Is it safe to res? Said Kelly. Oh yeah, I killed that rogue while you were running back. He's gone now, said Kane. Well done, baby. Rainbow resed, and I was ready. Boom, bitch! Cold blood, ambush, gouge, backstab, vanish, prep. Cold blood, ambush, vanish. Rainbow was dead again. Oh my god, you said it was safe! I thought he was gone, said Kane. But you said you killed him. I can't. There's too many of them. There's one. Fuck this. I'm hearthing. Don't you leave me here. He tried to hearth anyway. Fuck, he said as I sapped him again. While Rainbow ran back once more and Kane hung uselessly around her body, I prepared another surprise. I just gathered up a train of stone giants. My timing, I have to tell you guys, my timing was crisp. Absolutely crisp. The moment Rainbow revived again, I ran them across Kane and I just popped vanish. Like the idiot he is trying to hit me, he attacked the giants immediately. He and Rainbow both died. Oh my god, said Rainbow. I could hear she was close to tears. And that was my signal. Switched back off to my mage, left the Discord channel. Job done. Easy. I noticed Rainbow log off very soon afterwards and didn't come back that day. I felt like I had succeeded. I felt like my mission was complete. But I didn't know how successful I was. How good it had been. Until the following weekend when I participated in my first Blackwing Lair clear. We're knocking off the loot dragons when Kane, once again, goes into a speech. He's this time telling us about how he used to solo one of Nefarian's sides back when he was 12 during Vanilla. So I whispered Rainbow, that's pretty amazing, right? Her reply, he's a fucking prick. They never went on another date. Best of all, that same night, Rainbow started streaming again and still does occasionally. Nobody watches her, but I know she likes it anyway. I hope she didn't watch this, because you're being really mean about her streaming. You know, it only takes one day for people to find you. You hook me up with her stream, I'll throw her a host. She cries, though, I'm never doing it again. You hear me? You hear the words? You hear the words? Justice Preach and members of the jury. Was I just... Oh, this is not even for decisions. Yeah, that guy's a fucking toolbox. But I kind of wish, you know... I don't think we need a verdict on this. I kind of wish, though, that she'd gone to see him. I'm curious. I know I'm throwing your sister under the bus a little bit, and I'm glad it didn't happen, but there is a little part of my brain that's like the what-if part of my brain that's kind of like, what was he actually like? Right? Would he have ever actually agreed to meet IRL? I mean, he hasn't even got a base, right? And he's claiming he's got a base. I kind of want to see it. All right. Kane would be deployed? Smart. Look at you. Look at you guys. You've already got the stories all set up. You got the stories all... Kane's deployed. Okay. My mum... My mum scared me to death. Okay. My mama scared me to death. All right. We need a guy. We need a guy. Can I preemptively apologize to you? We appreciate your Patreon support, and you've seen what we've done with it. So, I'm All right. We'll go with Degaron. Degaron. Okay. Oh, God. It's fine. It's fine. No. Dennis, you're in case of emergencies. Dennis, you're in case of emergencies. Okay. I am writing to you, to your... hello, preacher and your wonderful audience. Hello. I am writing to you from the land of Denmark. Dane brain. Where I am spending much of my time inside due to the Rona. I have binged almost every episode of your Drama Time, and I wanted to thank you for making this time easier. I thought maybe in your chat would appreciate this. I thought of 3 different stories that were interesting, and I have chosen this one for you, and there's some teasers at the end, should you like this one. This story begins in vanilla World of Warcraft. Guilty. Danish, guilty. And Preacher, I need your help to decide, because I still think about this genuinely to this day. Helpful or creep? Helpful or creep? Now, I've called the story My Mum Scared Me to Death because I think that's more appropriate. Helpful or creep? Allow me to paint you a picture in your minds. I am 9 years old. 9 years old. And World of Warcraft had released. My 2 10-year-old brothers. Wait, you're 9 and you have 2 10-year-old brothers? You got to respect that couple of years that your mum and dad were at, haven't you? I mean, you've got to think about it a little bit. Now you're older, a little wiser. You got to think about that couple of years. Right? Getting work done. Getting some fucking work done. Okay. I am 9-year-old male. And WoW had released. My 2 10-year-old brothers, 3 lads. You know they were making a play for a girl. Unlucky. Who had been playing Dark Age of Camelot since its release. I remember that. And they were excited for another MMO. They talked my dad into buying the game for them and for me. Father, of course, couldn't resist and decided that he would also like to play this new game with us, as he had also played some Dark Age of Camelot with my brothers for years. WoW had been out for a couple of months, so we were not in the beginning phase of the game. 4 copies of World of Warcraft were purchased. Installation begun. How dare you? But thank you. Thank you very much. Where am I? My dad and my brothers contacted other family members, friends, and as many from the Dark Age of Camelot community as possible. I was hypers. This was the first time I had ever been allowed to play an online video game. Wow. And now is probably a good time to address your chat, because you might be thinking, 9 years old, how in the world do you even remember the details of the story? This is now family myth. And this story is retold over every Christmas dinner. Anyway, we decided on the alliance. My brothers had been doing research and decided that the best class for me, as I love to just kill things on repeat without it being too hard, was... Come on, Vanilla Mage. You've got a 9-year-old and you need him to do DPS. All wrong. All wrong. Are you kidding me? There it is. Mage. It's got to be a Frost Mage. Fucking Rogue? That's like 7 buttons. Are you fucking crazy? Fucking Mage, dude. Frost Bolt. Frost Bolt. Frost Bolt. Woohoo! I win. My dad, Night Elf Hunter. My 2 brothers made a human warrior and a dwarf priest. Oh, they had been doing their homework. My uncle later made a gnome rogue to come play with us as well. And we leveled quickly. Dungeons, world grinding, you name it. We made friends, and many from the Dark Age of Camelot community joined us as well. So, time to make a guild. Molten Core, baby. I was quickly taught the ways of the mage and its rotation. As my brothers had researched, mages were very good in Molten Core, and the rotation was pretty simple. If I had to AoE, I would have to press Blizzard, and if I needed to kill bosses, I should press Frostbolt. Nice. We downed Raggy rather easily, and after we had farmed the raid for a couple of weeks, sadness strikes, as it always does. My father, my brothers, and my uncle decided that WoW was too cartoony. PvP wasn't serial enough. If anyone in your chat has ever played Dark Age of Camelot, they would know why. In DOAC, a world PvP between the 3 factions was the core of gearing, gathering up points to increase crit chance, give you new abilities, and much, much more. And WoW was not that. So off they went on their merry way. But for me, 9-year-old little me, this fucking cartoony style, grindy PvE nature of the game, that was my jam. So I kept playing, and my dad was fine with this. Let's go to the Burning Crusade. At this point, I am 12 years old, all grown up. A preteen brain had developed. I knew no one to help me understand the game anymore, so mostly I just spent time on Thoughtbot learning what to do and where to go. I would stand for hours and hours just killing mobs over and over, and I loved it. Had I not been 12 years old and almost brain dead stupid, I could probably made a good bit of cash just doing what I enjoyed doing. I decided, of course, that it was time that I played a rogue. They had killed me so many times while farming that I had to do it. So I made my brand new rogue. A blood elf one. One day, I was leaving the Undercity. Level 28 I have reached on my journey. After having played the auction house, as you would say. When in reality, I had just been really stupid. My idea of playing the auction house was to use the undercut add-on, buy whatever it told me, and stuff would just never sell again. Now, I ask you to remember I was 12. So broke, ready to go. I looked at what I could do. And there I see it in my chat window. Looking for more. SM dungeon boost all day. 2 DPS. I was good at English, but not fluent. And what I read was LFM boost 2 deeps. I wanted to get boosted. Being boosted sounds good. So I went to that pink, and into the group I went. A very polite person told me where to go and what to do. He explained everything to me the entire day of running those dungeons. Told me what I should roll on and that I should use the Sword of Omen. He was playing a mage and was trying to get the long questline of Ice Fury Wand done. But he stuck around just to help me level. Throughout that day, he shared some information with me. He was 32 years old. He lived in Manchester, England, and was playing with his wife. I told him I am 12. I played vanilla with my brothers, but now I mostly play on my own. Now look! No. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it. I know what you and your chat are thinking. Yeah. Red flags everywhere. Pedo alert. Shit. Green alert, team. Green alert. We're going to green alert. Where's my thing? There we go. Let's go there. That'll do. At least we can have our red alert. We're at green alert. We're at green alert. Fixed it on the... We'll just do it live. We'll do it live. We're fine. This, of course, was late 2007. So not many of these situations had become known to the public yet. I want to be clear. This is just a guy running SM with you. Right? Nothing else has happened at all. Okay? Nothing at all. Remember again, I was 12 and thought, what the hell is a man living in another country going to do to me? Is he going to write mean things? I mean, he doesn't know where I live or anything. 3 dots. So, after boosting, he asked if he could add me on his friends list. I said, of course, because I had had a really fun day. And I added him as well. We would end up playing World of Warcraft together. Just me, him, and his wife. We would do dungeons, quests, and grinding together for months. And months. He taught me everything about the game, and even took me through Sunwell with his guild. At one point, he said we could talk through the in-game voice channel instead of typing all the time. Him and his wife would use it to talk. He told me how to set it up and everything. But honestly, I decided that I didn't want to talk. I thought it was weird that people talk to strangers over the internet. Good. So I had a brilliant lie. I said, I don't have a microphone. Big genius. Now back at this. I know this is clearly a lie. Gaming headsets all come with microphones. Not all. Just say you're an audiophile who doesn't have a microphone. It'll make total sense. Total sense. I said audiophile, by the way. All right? Just to be clear, I said audiophile. All right? But he didn't seem to mind. He just said, oh, okay, you can listen to us speak and just type and write yourself. It's just we don't want to type all the time. Okay, I responded. Now, at some point, my dad walked in and asked me what I was up to in World of Warcraft. And he came to look while I played. He saw I was in a group with 2 other people. He asked, son, who are you playing with? I said, some 32-year-old dude and his wife. Which is the correct answer, by the way. It's the correct answer. My dad was stunned. I remember this to this day. He looked confused on how to react. So he did the most dad thing ever. Oh, okay. And then left immediately to debrief with mum. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Over my headphones, I could hear mum and dad arguing for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then my mum came into the room and asked me in a very polite and motherly way, son, who is it that you're playing with? I was frustrated at this point because I just answered this question. So I said the same thing. I just told dad, a 32-year-old dude and his wife who live in Manchester, England. Mum kept her cool. She had already had 2 sons before me, so she knew how to handle this situation. That's nice, dear. Do you ever talk to them with your voice or anything like that? She said. No, not stupid. I told him I don't even have a microphone. She looked a little proud at that moment. But, does he speak to you, maybe? Yeah, I responded. Okay. Can you come and talk to me for a couple of minutes? Now, this is where it gets a bit iffy, because my mother is a police officer. She knew of crazy things that happen online. I quickly told the couple in-game that I had to log off. And then my mum told me about pedophiles. About people who are controlling, manipulative, trying to talk to young children online. I didn't really understand what she meant at the time. I do understand now, though. Even at 12 years old, I was torn. My mother didn't specifically say I shouldn't play with them. But what she did do was scare me to fucking death. That conversation completely changed how I looked upon this man and his wife. And I was fucking terrified. Absolutely terrified. Until now, until this point, I had just looked at them as a couple with plenty of time in their hands, probably not having kids anytime soon, being helpful towards a kid who didn't really understand World of Warcraft. But now, pedos. Definitely pedos. I logged in the next morning and decided I can't play with a person like that. My 12-year-old brain was developed well enough to come up with a good sentence to cut things off. You and your wife are fucking creeps! Fuck you! Never talk to me again! Stay away from me! I put them both on ignore and left the guild. Removed them from my friends list and I turned off World of Warcraft. And I never talked to them again after that. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. To this fucking day, I actually have no idea if they were creeps or not. They never did anything creepy towards me. Not at one single time in the months I've played with them did they do anything remotely creepy. At all. In any way, shape or form. And it bothers me. It bothers me that I called them that. It bothers me. So, Preacher Chat, what do you think? Helpful or creep? Did I do the right thing by removing them? Thank you for reading my story. Were they creeps? Probably not. Should they have been close friends with a 12-year-old boy? No. Okay? No. No, they shouldn't. Because that's creepy. It is creepy. I'm not saying sexually creepy, but that is a bit weird. And they should know that no parent is going to be happy with these people being close friends with their young boy. Right? I'm au fait with the internet. I've been online a couple of times. If my kids came to me at 12 and said they were hanging around with some older gentlemen on a one-to-one basis, not in a guild or anything, but like on a one-to-one basis, no. If some kid comes to me looking for advice, no thanks. I don't want to hear that. Maybe. There could be. So Valkyrie says maybe they lost their child and were filling a void. Maybe. Maybe. Still doesn't make it okay. Still doesn't make it okay. There are all sorts of reasons, but no. No. Don't try. I'm just saying, for those of you out there, it's not a good idea to befriend young teenage boys. Or younger. Don't do that. Okay? No parent wants that. No parent wants that. Don't do it. Or girls. Yeah, or girls. Or girls. Or anything like that. He says his other two stories are how Karen destroyed my top guild and thieves from within the family. Send both. Why not? I will judge them. I will judge them. I will judge them. But they probably weren't creeps. Still doesn't make it okay. In my opinion, anyway, I would say no. Right, we've got 5 minutes left. Let me pick a random one. All right, here's a short one. It's very short to fill our little space here. We don't want to leave you guys short-handed for coming in live. So, what do we have here? All right. Oh, this story might be a bit dark for drama time. Okay. Well, I'll skip that for now because I don't have time to review it. We do have to be careful. We do get a lot of rather dark stories that aren't really suitable for the show. How long is this one? I have a lot here. An unlikely success story. Okay. This looks relatively long, but we'll see what we can do. We can go fast, can't we? We like success. We do. We've been on some dark roads today. We've done some dark roads. Right, I haven't read this story. As always, the warning is the same for any story that I haven't pre-vetted, is that if it gets really strange, we might cut it off. It's the risk we take. That's my decision. Feel free to complain if we do that. Send it to www.youcan'tmakemereadshit.com. And I will definitely not get back to you. We need Zaphius and what's your surname so you can recognize it's you. Yeah, type it. Let's go with Misty. Misty. Doesn't say anything else. Okay. And the title of this tale is Success Story. Sorry, what was that site? www.youcan'tmakemereadshit.com. This is a more positive story than you usually read on Drama Time, but I figured I'd give it a try since there was so much potential for things to go wrong. Okay. All right. I'm down for this. Dear Preacher and your wonderful chat, I should start out by telling you a bit about myself. I first started playing World of Warcraft just a few months after it came out. I quit playing towards the end of BC when a combination of burnout and the impending birth of my first child made me take a long break from the game. Been there twice. Understand. I came back twice towards the end of WoD, mostly for nostalgia. I play a number of alts, but my main is a Resto Druid. I play Alliance because my first Blizzard game was Warcraft 2, and in my heart of hearts, the Horde will also always be the bad guys. Yeah, well, I've heard some say that about Cobra Kai, and they would be wrong. I've been in a raiding guild in the past, but these days I'm in a guild with just my family. Oh no. My husband and I have 3 kids now, and we all play WoW, sometimes together and sometimes not. The little one, 8, isn't up to doing M+. I feel like it came in like a Lego box with like an age on the side. M+ is for like 10+. The little one, 8, isn't up to doing M+, but the older 2, 12 and 10, are fine in lower keys. I am not doing M+ with my kids, like, ever. That is never happening. Until they're already great. They will have to pass that fucking trial of fire on their own. They all have to do that on their own, alright? They all have to pass that they all have to walk through those coals themselves. My baby boy will be out there questing with me a little ways off and some deluded Horde player will see him, not notice me, and try and kill him. That generally does not end well for the Horde player. The fuck? I feel like he quests and you sit there in stealth, like waiting to pounce. If you're wondering why I not only let my kids play in war mode, but in fact insist on it, it's because their chat in war mode is more PG. The irony. The fucking irony. Oh my god, that's genius. I had never even thought about that. Oh my god, you're tugging at my parent heartstrings. I am looking forward to the day when we'll have a complete family M+ team. Fuck that, that's awful. What? Because my guild is just family members, I need to pug raids. Oh god, when I want to raid content. Getting in is generally not a problem, at least on my main. My current eye level is 476 for my resto and 472 for balance. This is mostly Mupla and PvP gear, with a smattering of heroic raid pieces. I am what your chat would call a casual raider. No. That doesn't mean anything. What does casual even mean? It means nothing. You can play 24 hours a day and be a casual player. I don't get what it means. Whatever. You raid whenever. And I'm fine with that. Yeah, is casual just not mythic? If you're a normal player, is casual like heroic and above? What does it mean? Casual doesn't even mean bad. I know some of the best players in the world that are purely casual. They're total casual players. I hate that fucking word so much. I have it thrown at me all the time and it's always different and I have to guess what they're trying to talk about. Sometimes I raid with my husband, but I generally prefer not to. Okay, where are we going? I'm hearing this for the first time as much as you guys. My husband is a decent player, but in my opinion, he has 2 main problems. The first is that he refuses to use any add-ons. And the second is that he refuses to use voice comms. He is, of course, entitled to his opinion, and that you shouldn't need anything but the game to play the game, but I'm of the opinion that these tools are so widely used at this point as to be necessary. Yeah, you might be... Tell your husband that Blizzard designs their bosses around them, because everybody uses them. They design their bosses with that in mind. Can you do it without? Yes! Of course you can. Let's explain that for the guys going, you can do it without! Of course you can. Of course you can. Alright, you can brush your teeth with a fucking screwdriver if you really want to. Doesn't make it a good fucking idea, does it? Right? Doesn't make you fucking clever. The second problem is that he clearly... Oh, that was only problem number 1. Jesus Christ. That was problem number 1. The second problem is that he clearly thinks he's better at the game than I am. I disagree with this assessment. Wow. That is so political. I disagree with this assessment. Don't get me wrong. I do love the man. But it's better for our marriage if we mostly raid separately. It sounds like it. It does. It does sound like it. Several weeks ago, I was looking to do some heroic Nyalotha. I didn't need any gear, but I wanted to down a few more bosses on heroics just to be able to say that I had done them. At the time, I was 5 out of 12. Oh, you're not there. Curve? Cutting edge? One of those two. I had the first 3 down plus Hive and N'Zoth. You killed the first 3, Hive Mind, and then just N'Zoth. I'd looked into getting N'Zoth on a strong group that just needed a healer. Ah, healer privilege. Nice. I opened Group Finder and hoped that I would get into a decent group and not one that would wipe on the first actual mechanic and fall apart. I was a bit jaded by this point and just clicked apply in the first few groups that needed a healer. Expecting to get into one of them, but not holding out much hope of downing more than one boss. Yep, I felt that way when I did my new account series. I had zero expectations. As per usual, I had an invite pretty soon because I was a healer and applying to heroic raid groups that needed a healer. I started heading to the raid. I noticed that most of the raid group was from the same server and realized that it was a guild group. Oh, it's one of them we hear about in the other drama stories that bugs people that needed a few extra players to fill out their raid. Oh, we're on the other side of the coin. We're looking at it from the other side of the fence, everybody. These are those heroic guilds that just pug the rest of the players. Hope bloomed in my heart. I generally enjoy being a pug player in a guild group because I find these groups less toxic. Not according to Drama Time. Since I play a druid, I have never been removed from such a group in favour of guild latecomers because I can just switch to roles as needed. Okay. Zaphius, the raid leader, welcomed me and the other 1 or 2 pugs in the chat and posted a Discord link. This is a good sign. I plugged in my headset and fired up Discord. Why is your headset unplugged? It was a while I was getting Discord organised. The fuck does that mean? And then I noticed something that gave me some serious pause. While Zaphius, the raid leader, had typed his chat message in English, the other chat messages that were coming in were in Spanish. Oh my god, it's Tom. I hadn't been paying much attention to what groups I was applying to, other than to make sure they were heroic groups that were set for tanks but needed a healer. I didn't recognise the server that the raid leader was from, but I noticed the other pug members of the raid were all from Latin American servers. I have no experience with that. I live in the United States of Freedom. All of the Americas are grouped together in Group Finder. I had some bad experiences with people from a particular Latin American server. Again, you're so political. Holy shit. You're like crazy political. I can tell you're a mum as well. I won't mention any names, but a certain Latin American server. My chat, as you can see, not so political, right? You can see quite the difference in approach happening with the live chat. And I worried about the potential language barrier. US schools are notoriously shit at teaching other languages. I'd taken French. You did French in the US? Interesting. And I could barely manage a sentence for 2 in French. I learned almost fluent French and German. Can't do a fucking thing with it now. I only know a handful of Spanish words. Oh well, I thought. At least Skitra is easy, and I can pick up those last few shreds of insanity that I needed before it all goes to hell. I went ahead and joined their Discord channel, figuring that if people were calling something out, I at least knew the fight well enough to guess what they were talking about. We got Skitra down. It wasn't perfect, but I had certainly seen worse. We went on. To my surprise, they decided to go directly to Zanesh. Bold. I have not had good experiences with Zanesh on Heroic. I had not downed her on Heroic at all. It took 3 tries, but that changed that day. I was impressed. I had seen the soccer mechanic kill many a pug raid, and I am not casting any blame there because I am not good at the soccer mechanic myself. Soccer. Some of the other non-guild members left and were replaced over the course of the Zanesh pulls, and I was beginning to get to know the group better. Zaphius was clearly the only one who spoke English. I listened to them in Discord, and from what little I could tell from the tone of voice and such, they seem to have a positive attitude. I don't know what they're saying, but they sound awfully happy. I don't know what word they're saying, but they sound good. It was during the Zanesh pulls that Misty, their only guild healer, and as it turns out the guild leader himself, the only guild healer and the guild leader, started posting recount meters in raid chat. I have no clue what they were saying in chat and on Discord, but I heard my character name mentioned a couple of times. And the meters Misty was posting were for healing and showed me comfortably at the top. I guessed this must be a good thing. And I joked in chat that I couldn't speak Spanish, but at least my healing was okay. Which Zaphius translated in Discord, and a few of them chuckled with a Spanish laugh. I have no idea. Don't email me, alright? Just don't fucking email me. They wiped a few times on Hivemind, which perplexed me a bit, but it was getting late. I put down a cauldron because I noticed some people in the group didn't have flasks. Oh, you are buttering their bread, aren't you? It did help a bit, and they were improving on dealing with the ads, but they didn't get Hivemind down that night. Oh, you killed Zanesh and Skidra, but not Hivemind heroic? Crazy, man. Weird. Zaphius asked me if I would join them again next week, and I said yes. Yes, I would. I did come back that next week. They needed me, as it seemed that Misty was the only one in their guild who had a healer. I was no longer worried about the language barrier. Sure, Zaphius was the only one I could communicate with effectively, but perhaps this was a blessing in disguise. I know my fights. I could easily guess what the callouts in Discord must be from context. And if there was any drama going on, I couldn't understand it anyway. Genius. There was one thing that was worrying me, though. It was clear that everyone in the guild was male. I'm a female. As a woman with a technical background, I am used to being in male-dominated situations, but experience tells me that it is best if I send a few clear signals. This is interesting. What are the signals you're going to send out? Like a bat signal? The language barrier made that a bit more challenging, especially since I wanted to do it in a non-confrontational way. Luckily, the perfect opportunity came during the next raid when we were wiping once again on Hivemind. My daughter came home and asked me if it was mythic. I occasionally do pug some mythic raids, which generally involves a lot of wiping. Sucks being a girl in gaming. It fucking sucks, man. None of us have ever had to think about this kind of shit. Like, the lads anyway. We've never had to think about this kind of shit. Fuck's sake. So it was a reasonable question, but a bit funny in context, since we were wiping on Heroic Hivemind. Since my microphone was on, Zaphius heard her, and after I clarified it was my daughter asking if it was mythic, he translated it to the guild, and they got a good giggle out of it. More importantly, it was a good chance to casually let them all know I had kids. That's how you get it done. And was therefore older and out of reach. Jesus Christ, I'm off limits, lads. Slap it. I liked the feeling I was getting from this group as they appreciated me, and I just wanted to be sure that it was my ability to raid heal that was the primary source of that, and not the chesticles. Luckily, their attitude towards me didn't change. Plus, we got Hivemind down for them to start making some extra progress. Now, you see, this is the problem. This is the problem. Immediately as you're like, oh, they heard my daughter, so I have kids, I'm unavailable. Immediately in the chat, not necessarily. I mean, it's all about making the plays, right? Sometimes you just got to turn your chadness up a little bit. All right, she's got a husband, she's got kids, so that just means I need to turn it to 12. That's all it means. Like, immediately, zero pause for the thirsty butt hunters in chat to be like, we can still make a play. We can still make a play. It's all good. I spent the next few weeks raiding with this group. Zaphius seemed perplexed as to why I kept accepting their invitation. He seemed to think I could do better than them. In terms of downing bosses, yeah, probably. But I had come to like the group. They weren't perfect, they made mistakes, but they seemed to have a good attitude and they kept improving. Zaphius listened to my suggestions and translated them to the guild. Oh my god, if you become the raid leader of a guild that doesn't understand what you're saying, perfection. Those bosses started going down steadily. I even brought my daughter along to the raid to heal me once because Misty couldn't make it, and the pug healers they were getting were so fucking bad that a 12-year-old was a clear improvement. We have proof of that, actually, from our previous story. They were super nice about having my daughter along. Bet they were. Right, lads? The daughter's in. Whee! Most of all, they just seemed to appreciate my help. I started to feel a bit maternal about this group. Oh, no! The same mama bear druid instincts that I had with some horde player tried to gank my baby boy started to flare up when the occasional pug member of the raid said something negative in chat. I told one rude Mistweaver monk that the main tank he was criticizing in chat may not be perfect, but he didn't need attitude from someone doing half my HPS. La-dee-da. La-dee-da. That rude monk left and we got Raden down on the very next pull. Get him, mama. Get him. Get him. It must be so bad to feel like you've just been told off by your mum in game, right? Fuck. Especially if you're like 40 years old. You're playing a Mistweaver, so your life sucks anyway. And you're like, I'm getting shouted at by my mum. I'm in a heroic pug getting shouted at by my mum. Oh my god. Sucks dick. After a month of raiding this guild, as I guess an unofficial raid member, we were closing in on one of my goals of getting all the heroic bosses down. Raden, down. Vex, down fairly easily. Dressed, easy claps. Il'gynoth was a bit of an issue, as he should be. The guild was very melee heavy, let's put it. They had one really good hunter for ranged DPS, and that was it. Oh, shit. Finally, Ilgi down, with the help of a couple of overgeared ranged pug DPSs who really wanted something to drop. What a ranged one from Il'gynoth Heroic. You need to help me. Only one boss remained on my list. Carapace. That's when I had to miss one of their raid nights. I was taking the kids to visit my mama for the first time since the whole pandemic crisis started. I did take my laptop with me, but raiding after spending 6 hours in my minivan with the 3 kids just was not going to happen. I found out afterwards that they had gotten Carapace down when I wasn't there. Oh, unlucky. I was sad about missing out, but I was happy for them and proud of how far they had come. They saved the lockout, and when I got home 5 days later, the evening after reset, they all went for N'Zoth. It was not pretty. They didn't have Misty, so I was the closest thing they had to a guild healer. I had to give Zaphius a few tips about dealing with bashes and whatnot. Still, every pull was a bit better. It took a couple of pulls, and it wasn't pretty, but N'Zoth fell. Curve for those who had stuck with it. Zaphius was so apologetic about killing Carapace without me the previous week, which was really sweet of him, as I'm not even in the guild. I was happy because that N'Zoth kill felt a lot better to me than the first one. I felt like I'd actually contributed to it. Right? It's important. Being part of the progress is important. Just after their raid split up after the Zoth kill, I did get my Carapace kill. You just went to a different pug and got it. Since it was the evening right after reset, the serious raiders were looking to get an Zoth kill for the core. I joined a group that was doing Rathion and Carapace and Zoth only. Sweet. The group sliced those bosses up like it was nothing. But it wasn't nearly as satisfying as helping along with the guild that I could barely even communicate with. I keep in contact with Zaphius, and I'm hoping to raid with these guys in Shadowlands. Nice! I just hope they stick with it and want me in spite of the language barrier. So you never... That's the end of the story. You never raid with them again after they killed N'Zoth? Or did they just stop going after they killed N'Zoth? That was a lovely story. That was awesome. Why? That's what I find curious. Why didn't you raid with them again after that? Or was it this week? I'm not sure. Yeah. Round of applause for a wholesome story after our scary rabbit holes that we went down today. They probably quit. Is that a normal thing for... I don't know. Is that a normal thing? What, get the kill and then move on? Yeah? Fair enough. I mean, if that's the situation, if you're pugging players and whatever. Just did it for curve? Okay, I could deal with that. But yeah, good luck. Update us when you're in Shadowlands. That was a lovely story to finish on. Thank you very much for that. That just brings us to the end of drama time for this week. And I'm going to send you over to our man, Mr. Fingal, so you can say hi to him and get your... I think he's doing some beta stuff because apparently the leveling has been updated. Since we put out our video, they did implement removing those checkmark jet points. Awesome. So please give him my love, even if you're going somewhere else. Host Rainbow. I don't know who Rainbow's Twitch is. I haven't got Rainbow's Twitch. I'm sorry. I only asked for it like a few minutes ago. So yeah, it looks like either they were going to do it anyway or we brought attention to it and they removed it. So whichever it is great. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I should be around for stream tomorrow. We might be having movie night tomorrow for Wild Wild West because it's one of the requests we have. So we're watching some Will Smith tomorrow. Other than that, say hi to Finn for me. Have a great weekend. And if you're only here for drama time, I'll see you next Friday. Be good. Be good. But yeah, have a great weekend, all of you. I'm having a full Sunday with my kids this week. I'm going to be teaching them about... Oh, /raid. That's what I need to do. I typed in the wrong thing. Bingo 1.